Right now, I want to welcome to the program the president of the Independence Institute, a guy I saw out in Colorado at the Independence Institute's ATF party last week, Mr. John Caldera. John, how are you, sir?
I'm terrific, Cam. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you for coming on the show today.
Oh, what a kick.
All right, so you got this piece in the Washington Times updating the world and the country on what's going on in Colorado. And you say to someone living on the coast, the fight there in Colorado over gun control might be hard to understand because we're talking about, gun magazines and background checks. So you ask that question, you try to answer the question of how can this lead to the first recall elections in Colorado's 100-year history?
So it really is pretty amazing for your listeners who might not know. Colorado really has been a battleground state in Bloomberg's attack on Second Amendment rights. And the people have struck back. And two of our state senators who were key in passing the legislation face recall elections coming up as soon as September 10th.
Absolutely. And, we were talking about this earlier in the hour, John. There's a new poll out suggesting Coloradans, generally speaking, are not happy with these new gun control laws. They're like 54-40. But many Coloradans are, they don't want every election to turn into a recall election. And we were talking about this before. We haven't really seen that around the country. I mean, that was one of my concerns when the recall elections happened in Wisconsin, that I don't want to live in a world in which we have this constant, never-ending cycle of politics. But we really aren't seeing that. We are seeing these recall elections occur when a significant portion of voters have very big problems with acts of the legislature. I mean, that really is what we're seeing.
Let's put it this way. Here in Colorado, thanks to the Citizens Initiative, we have the right to recall elected officials. That right has been around for 100 years, and it is just now being used. So when I hear people say, well, this is the wrong way to handle it, I'm thinking, says who? That if the breach of trust between an elected official and his constituents is so injured as it was under these votes, if it was such a misrepresentation of their constituents on a key issue that's important to them, well, then by all means, feel free to use this thing. It's not an easy thing to do, by the way. It's not as if five people get together at a kitchen table and say, let's recall Bob, and then it happens. You've got to get a large amount of signatures in a very tight time frame, and it really shows how angry, and rightfully so, Colorado gun owners are.
Absolutely. And, what's interesting about this poll as well, John, is that, again, you go back to the responses from Coloradans. They don't believe that these new gun control laws are going to make a difference. The public very, very split on whether or not additional background check laws or magazine laws would have done anything to prevent the murders at either Columbine or in Aurora. Majority of the voters in the state, again, disapproved generally of the new laws that were passed by the legislature. So it seems like there really is. I mean, there's no denying that this was an overreach by the legislature and disregarding so many voices of Coloradans. I mean, that's the other thing. When you had so many so many Coloradans turn out who wanted to be heard, and it seemed like there were so many politicians who were just, turning their back to them, saying, we don't want to listen.
One of the tactics of gun grabbers is they want to tell stories about how law enforcement wants these gun control measures. Well, that ain't the case, and we know it. While chiefs of police who work directly for mayors have to say whatever the mayor says, a recent poll of beat cops show that over 90% of cops believe that limits on magazine capacity will have no impact. And among those law enforcement are the sheriffs of Colorado. We have 62 elected sheriffs. All 62 of them signed onto a position paper coming out against these gun laws. And interestingly, while there was this great debate, our governor, John Hickenlooper, would not listen, would not have a conversation, not even a phone call with any one of our 62 elected law enforcement officials. Instead, he received calls from Michael Bloomberg himself. And so what we have in Colorado is a real pushback to Eastern interests. Joe Biden calling legislators on the legislative floor, Michael Bloomberg spending his money and calling legislators and our governor, but yet refusing to listen to constituents, refusing to listen to our own law enforcement. This is not just an issue of constituents angry with their elected officials. This is a case of people in Colorado angry that Washington, D.C., New York billionaires are trying to control how we operate.
Yeah. And, John, you talk about those phone calls made. I mentioned earlier in the program that the Independence Institute, you guys are one of the few policy think tank groups out there that actually has an investigative reporter working for you guys. And he was the one who actually broke this story, wasn't he?
He was. Todd Shepherd with a great website called CompleteColorado.com. We realized that the traditional media simply wasn't doing their job. So we felt that we needed somebody to do it for us. And that's why Todd was on board. Furthermore, our research director and legal scholar, Dave Kopel, is representing 55 of those sheriffs in a federal court case to overturn these laws. So, the Independence Institute, our job is not just to think about things and put out nice position papers. Our job is to get stuff done.
Yeah, and it appears, John, you guys are really doing just that. I got to say, just having a chance to hang out with Dave and with yourself and with Susan and Mary and Justin and Cherish and the rest of the folks from the Independence Institute, you all are a really outstanding organization, and it was a real pleasure to get to see all of the work that you guys are doing. You're so active and you're so involved in the state. Clearly,
which is terrific because spending time with you was just an awful experience for most of us. And we're trying to figure out how not to have you back ever again. But, we'll see we had a great time with you, Cam. For those people who don't know, Cam came out to our alcohol, tobacco, and firearms party, which is our way of sticking our tongue out at the nanniest like Bloomberg and enjoying the perks of adulthood. And I will spare your listeners by not sharing how poorly you shot that game.
Thank you. I shared as well already, so it's okay. Like I said,
I hope you had a great time. And part of our philosophy at the Independence Institute is it's hard to keep the revolution going if you're not having fun. And so we have a great time, and we work hard and we party hard.
Yep. Well, that's the thing. You made a statement in your remarks that weekend about enjoying adulthood, and that's the thing. There are so many, John. There are so many politicians and so many celebrities and so many people pushing the idea that eternal adolescence is the goal, and a life free of responsibility is going to be a more fulfilling life. You all point out that in order to be independent, you have to be able to shoulder and willing to shoulder responsibility for your actions, and to be a responsible adult doesn't mean you have to be John Lithgow and Footloose. You guys clearly still know how to have a lot of fun. So I applaud you all for what you're doing.
Well, I tell you what, and we're thrilled that you could come out and share your remarks with us, and I think you hit those points beautifully. The point I'd like to make to your listeners is if you'd like to get involved, we have a website called Colorado Gun Case. I think it's .org. I'm pretty sure it's .org. Maybe it's .com. But Colorado Gun Case. And you've got all of our legal briefs about and motions on the lawsuit. And it's amazing to see all these great people in law enforcement, our sheriffs, standing up to do the right thing and stand up to Bloomberg and to Biden and Obama and our own governor, John Hickenlooper. I just couldn't be more proud. They've got nothing to gain by putting themselves out as the plaintiffs, and they're just doing an amazing job.
Well, absolutely. John, thanks again for coming on the show, sir. And I know we'll be talking with you and the rest of the folks from the Independence Institute very, very soon.
Terrific. Look forward to seeing you soon.
All right. Have a great weekend. John Caldera, who, by the way, accused me of trying to steal his car not once but twice over the weekend, from the Independence Institute, joining us here on Cam and Company.